How's it going, everyone? Hope you're all doing really well. So it's been a big session so far for Mullen Automotive. We're in the green, and there has been a number of kind of news catalysts that are worth talking about. Obviously, chief among them is what's happened with the shareholder meeting this morning. So there was not enough votes to pass the reverse stock split, which the board wanted. So a lot of the retail investors, I don't know whether it was they didn't vote or if it was casting votes in the negative, but from the preliminary count, it looks like that they didn't get the votes to have the reverse stock split. However, there is the condition that if they don't get the votes, they can have another vote again on December 18th. I'm actually not sure whether existing votes count and then they just get more people to vote, or if it's a brand new vote. I imagine it's going to be existing votes count and it's just more time for other people to vote, because that's going to be on Monday or Tuesday next week. And that's very interesting because it's a tight time frame, because I think it's from Wednesday that the stock needs to start trading above $1 for 20 consecutive days to regain NASDAQ compliance, as per the deal they struck out with the NASDAQ. So very interesting. Not surprised. This isn't the first time this has happened to Mullen Automotive, that they haven't had the votes to pass a motion. But yeah, so it's going to be interesting to see what's happening with that. But what that could mean is, we might just let the stock, if we don't get the votes to have the reverse stocks, the stock just might ride it out and go over the counter, which some people kind of want to see happen, others don't. Interestingly, though, the second thing I want to talk about is what's going on with shorts. So since this broke, the number of shorts returning has gone up dramatically. And I think that has been responsible for a lot of the buying power that's pushing the stock up today. Shorts are returning their positions, and I think what it is because if this goes over the counter, it becomes a huge risk event if you're holding shorts, because you have to buy stocks to return to whoever you've borrowed them from. And if they, if the stock is trading over the counter, it becomes very hard to get your hands on those stocks as a short seller. So that's going to put a lot of pressure on shorts. I think that's why we're seeing a lot of buying pressure coming from the shorts particularly. So that's quite interesting. So while the shorts returning are putting a lot of upward pressure on the stock, to me, I think the whole situation's in a state of flux. We don't really know what's happening. There's obviously another meeting next week to try and see if they can get the votes. If they can't get the votes, the stock might go over the counter, and it's kind of anyone's guess for what's going to pan out in the future, because obviously there is kind of this identified need that this company may need to raise more money next year. And if they're over the counter, raising that money could become really, really difficult. Obviously, there's a couple of other things that could come up, for the company. If they do go over the counter, they could try to look to be bought by someone that's publicly listed or merge with another company. Just sort of, these are all options that the company might have if they end up over the counter, to try and, shore up the value of the business. But all those, I don't think, would bring much value to shareholders. I've said this a few times lately, but you only have to look at what happened to Vinco Ventures when they went over the counter. Granted, very different situation, that their operations just went kaput and their board, tried to have hostile takeovers and stuff like that. But that was a company that went from being valued at over $1 billion to now being valued at under $100,000. So it's a scary place over the counter. You don't want to be stuck there. Now, the other little bit of news that kind of came out on the day, it's interesting. Now, I've only been following Mullen for about a year now, and the year before, obviously there was the investigation as to some things about Mullen Automotive. But I think I'm going to say, I might get this wrong, but the Louisiana state attorney, about them sort of not actually developing their own products and just reassembling Chinese-made EVs in America and calling it American-made. And I believe it's still an ongoing investigation. Mullen tried to have it dismissed, and they failed in doing so. But anyway, the news I want to say today is that there's now a law firm also in Louisiana that's going after Mullen and the board particularly, to see if they have breached their fiduciary requirements to shareholders and not being upfront and given the truth about the state of the company, and also other things such as like over grossly estimating the sales that they had booked. And this isn't something that's exclusive to Mullen Automotive when it comes to new EV companies overstating their sales that they have in the early stage. So yeah, interesting. I think that kind of news hasn't really done too much for the stock today. It's not like the main story, but it's just interesting that another investigation has officially been launched into Mullen Automotive. Yeah, so anyway, we've still got a bit of time left in the trading week. Mullen's up today. I'm not going to give my take on where I think this is all going. I really think we're in a state of flux right now. To me, Mullen, to stay listed, they actually need to do the reverse stock split. And I do believe it needs to be a big one. I can see the logic to going over the counter as well, but it's a scary place. I think they need a big reverse stock split, blow up the liquidity. Yeah, and I know obviously if they do it, once that stock split's done, the shorts are going to come in en masse and pull the stock down. But if it's valued so high and the underlying value of the company remains good, I think that might see the stock survive that 20 days, and hopefully it gives them enough to actually be able to survive for the next 12 months, and they can properly regain NASDAQ compliance and get a bit of settlement. And, then they'll be able to easily raise that equity that they are looking to, that they may need to get to survive next year. And then hopefully that might lead to more sales, and we can sort of start to see Mullen moving into a green patch, because it's been all red for a long time. But yeah, anyway, just a couple of thoughts. Share your thoughts on everything from the shareholder meeting outcome, what you think it means for the company, and maybe share some thoughts if you know much about the legal case. It's something I know of, but I'm not super familiar with, so I'd love to hear some other people's takes on the legal actions in Louisiana against Mullen Automotive. Anyway, guys, enjoy your Friday and have a good weekend. I'll come back with some updates again when I get a chance. But yeah, till next time, may the markets trade in your favor. Cheers.